Om Sadashivasamārambhām Shankarācārya-madhyamām Asmadācārya-paryantām Vande Guru-paramparam. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Saha Virjam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Namo Bhagavate Vaivasvataya Mrityave Brahma Vidyacharya Nachiketase cha. So we need to resume from Gita Press, page 77, mantra number 4, or PDF notes, page 74. Yeah.
Okay. Sloka 4, is it?
Correct. Mantra number 4, 1.3.4.
Yes. 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 Okay.
So let us chant mantra number 3 and 4 together, okay? Because they go together. Atmanam Rathinam Vidhi.
Atmanam Ratinam Vidhi.
Shariram Ratham
Shariram Ratamevatu.
Buddhim tu Sarathim Vidhi.
Buddhim tu Sharathim Vidhi.
Manah Pragrahamevacha.
Mana Pragrahamevacha.
Indriyani Hayanahuhu.
Indriyani Hayanahuhu.
Vishayansteshu Gocharan.
Vishayamsteshu Gocharan.
Atmendriya Mano Buddhihi.
Atmendriya Mano Yuktihi.
Atmendriya Mano Yuktam.
Bhakte Yaku Mano Atmendriya Mano Yuktam.
Bhoktetyahurmanishinaha.
Bhoktesyahur Manishinaha.
So it is worth memorizing these two mantras. It's often quoted, and it's called Ratha Kalpana, and Shankaracharya will quote it in his commentaries, and there may even be it may even be used in I'm not sure if Bhagavad Gita has it, probably not, but some other granthas will have it. Okay, it's a beautiful imagery which is used for our purpose, of course. So we saw last time, mantra number 3, recap. Atmanam Rathinam Vidhi Shariram Rathameva. So this body is Sharira, of course, and then Ratham. Take that as a chariot. Okay? Shariram Rathameva. And Buddhim to Sarathim Vidhi. The Buddhi, the intellect, take it to be the charioteer of this chariot called body. And then Manaha Pragraham Evcha. There are horses, we have not come to that yet, but those reins, those ropes by which you hold on to the horses, consider them to be the mind. We saw that. And then Atmanam Rathinam. So who is this Atma means? Then the person for whom this body is meant for. Right there, brilliant Viveka is already there, right? If at all I was thinking this body is as good as me or I am as good as this body, right away the mantra says, no, you're not the body, you're not the mind, you're not the intellect. So this mantra is enough to give us that Viveka, Atmanatma Viveka, right? With respect to body. Atma Anatma Viveka is there with respect to the rest of the world. I am not confused. I won't look at the tree and say I am the tree. There's no confusion there. I don't look at the fan and say I am the fan, and I don't say I am rotating. No, nobody says that. There's no confusion with respect to that Anatma. With this Anatma only there is confusion. Okay? So I have Swapna sitting here today. We have a guest. And so internet is not working in her home. So she's suddenly knocked on the door. I said, who's knocking the door in the morning? And so we're glad to have her. And so that Atma and Atma Viveka with respect to the body is started here and continuing. Indriyani Hayan Ahu. Haya in Sanskrit means Ashwaha. Ashwaha. So Indriyani Ashwan Ahu. Hayan Ahu. Ahu means they say. They say. Shankara will tell us who they are, okay, because this mantra doesn't say who they are, okay. And they say that these sense organs are same as horses, okay. And then what? Vishayans teshu gochara. So the horses are going after certain things. Okay? They are traveling on certain paths, predefined paths. That's what we should put in brackets, predefined paths. 5 horses are there, you should imagine. And then predefined paths. And then those paths are the things that our indriyas go after. That is what is said here. And then Atmendriya Manoyuktam. So Manoyuktam. So Yuktam, this combined entity called, which is combination of what? Atma, Indriya, and Manas. And here we have to put in brackets, Atma is not the Satchidananda Atma. Atma is equal to Shariram, Deham. So Dehendriya Manoyuktam. Previous mantra, Atma is not Deha. Okay. Atma is that entity for which the chariot belongs. So that is not Shariram. Okay. So that is Atma, that is a real Atma, quote unquote real Atma. Here Atma refers to Deha. Okay. Dehendriya Manoyuktam. Okay. Bhokta iti ahuhu manishinaha. Okay, I said, who said is not there in the mantra, who said is also there in the mantra. Manishinaha. These people who are all manishis. Nisha asya asti iti manishi. These wise people who know what's what. They say, ahuhu. They say, what do they say? Bhokta iti. This complex, this body, mind, sense complex. This is where we get this phrase body, mind, sense complex. Atmendriya manoyukta. We often use this word. And that complex is called a bhokta. That is what the Upanishad is saying. Bhokta means what? Enjoyer. Literal meaning is enjoyer. Within brackets, karta, pramata, all the whatever I say I am has to be put here. Okay. If I say I am a mortal, that also. Martyaha iti ahuhu manishinaha. Okay. That's the essence of this mantra. And Shankara will conclude this description by saying that Atma does not have Bhoktritvam. Okay. So where is this Bhoktritvam coming from if Atma does not have this Bhoktritvam? Well, that is the complex. That is why this complex has been said. If I say I am tall or I am short, who is tall, who is short? The body has a certain height, certain form, etc. It has a particular height, it has a particular weight, it has a particular health. If I say I am sick, body is sick is a correct statement. In fact, doctors look at it like this. They look at it objectively. Even though I say I am sick, they know what you mean. And they'll ask you what happens, etc. They ask. So this is the pain I feel here and there. And I have some vomiting sensation, this, that. So, therefore, Shankara will conclude by saying all these attributes of the body and the mind are if superimposed on this Atma, on the guy who keeps on saying, I am this. And Okay, Gai means what? Ahankara. Sometimes the word Chidabhasa is used. Chidabhasa. Chidabhasa is what? Consciousness reflected in the mind. Sometimes they use the word reflected within quotes. You have to be careful using these words. So that Ahankara, that entity which knows I am this, I am that, I'm not that, I'm all these statements are being made. That awareness is there for whom that person is Ahankara, Chidabhasa. But Shankara will conclude by saying, yeah, that Chidabhasa is needed for this body to survive and transact with the world. But that Chidabhasa also is Mithya. That Ahankara also is Mithya. Like that, he's going to conclude, not mentioned in the mantra. Correct? Okay. So that's the summary of this mantra. And that this mantra concludes that image, that Upama, that Ratha Kalpana is concluded by this one. Number 3 and 4. Okay. Let's study the Bhaashyam. Indriyani chakshuradini
Indriyani chakshuraadini
hayan.
Teshu means Vishayam Teshu.
Oh, Vishayans Teshu. Okay. Teshu Gochara. So, Teshu means Indriyeshu, which Shankara will convert it to Indriyana. So, the Indriyas objects Gochara are the, see, Gochara. Gochara means the things that the horses go after. Okay? Are the things that the Indriyas go after. That is what is the meaning here. So Vishayan. Vishayan means what? Let's put it the other way. Vishayan, we have to be careful here. We have to look at what is what. What are the things we have to look at?
Upama and Upameya.
Upamanam and Upameya we have to look at. What is Upameya here?
Indriyan.
Indriya.
Indriyani is Upameya. And Upamanam is?
Horses.
Horse. So there, horse and Indriya. So Indriya is what I'm trying to describe. So Upameya, and it is equated to horses, which is Upamanam. Then next step, the things that the horses go after should be the Upameya, and the things the Indriyas go after should be the Upamanam. Correct? So now, which one is what here? Vishayan, Teshu Gochara. So Vishayan must be Indriya Vishayan, going by the same order. Indriya Vishaya, Teshu Gochara. Teshu means what? Ashwana Gochara. Whatever the horses go after must be the Upamanam. I don't know which direction I was using. So it must be the Upamanam. Umeya should be the things that the Indriyas go after. Okay. So therefore, Teshu Gocharan should be taken as the things the horses go after. And Vishayan means Indriya Vishaya. Yeah? Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see what happens in the Bhaashyam. If we have to reverse it, we'll reverse it. Okay. Teshu eva Indriyeshu. Okay. Teshu is Indriyeshu, he's saying. So we may have to reverse. We'll come to the Bhaashyam. Okay. All right. Indriyani chakshuradini
Indriyani chakshuraadini
hayan ahu.
hayan ahu
Better. Hayan ahu.
hayan ahuhu
Not a printing mistake, Sandhi. Okay. Ratha kalpana kushalaha. Ratha kalpana kushalaha.
ratha kalpana kushalaha
Sharira ratha akarshana samanyat.
sharira ratha akarshana samanyat.
Yeah, let's stop with that. So Indriyani, Shankaracharya is explaining, does not require explanation. He is saying Chakshuradi, Chakshuhu, etc., eyes, etc., are the Indriyas. So Shrotram, so we should practice. This is a time for us to practice. Shrotram. Shrotram, then what? Sparsham, Chakshuhu, and then Rasanam, Graham. These 5 Indriyani, Chakshuradini, Hayan Ahuhu. Ahuhu will become Ahu. There is a Sandhi, the Visarga is followed by a Repa. That Haswa Ukara will become Haswa Anya. They say A, I, U. All these will become Dirgha. That is why this Ahuhu. Ahuhu. The rule is this, Sanskrit students. Ahuhu, there is a Visarga. That Visarga is actually a Repa. Before it became a Visarga, it was a Repa. And the Repa got dropped because there is a Repa that is following. And when such a situation occurs, then this particular Tasva Ukara will become Dirgha Ukara. That is why it is not a misprinting mistake. Okay. All right. Hayana. Who? Then what? Who are the who? Ke Ahu. Who say all these things? By the way, this Ahu is a verb. It is a Prathama Purusha Bahuvachana. Of what, if you ask? There is really no verb called Ah Dhatu is not there. Bru Dhatu. Bru Dhatu. Okay. In Sanskrit, there is a Bru Dhatu, and you should not say, I don't know what Bru is, because I'll give you some references. Okay. Abravit and all we've seen in Bhagavad Gita. Raja Vachanam Abravit. Second verse, Bhagavad Gita. Sanjay Uvacha, Drishtva Dupandava Nikam, Vyudam Duryodhanastada, Acharyamupasangamya, Raja Vachanam Abravit. That is Brudhatu. Okay. And then I made one more note here. And that is in chapter 10, verse number 13. Okay. Take a note of that. Ahustvam Rishaya Sarve Devarshi Naradastha Asito Devalo Vyasaha Swayam Chaiva Bravishi Me. Like that we saw the 10th chapter. There Ahuhu Tvam. That word Ahuhu comes. And who say there it is Rishayaha, etc. Sarve Devarshihi, Naradaha, Tata. They all say that Param Brahma, Param Dham, previous shloka. Okay, you are the limitless. Like that they say. Like that Arjuna is telling Krishna in that mantra. Okay. And so that Ahuhu comes in. Just for your reference. So there the rule is this. Braviti bruvataha bruvanti. That is how the verb will decline, right? Or conjugate. There is a rule that says this braviti will become aha, then ahatuhu, ahuhu. Like that, some alternate forms are there for that dhatu, bru. Okay? Sanskrit students. All right. Who said ke ahuhu, ke bruvanti? And he says, Ratha Kalpana Kushalaha. Very interesting. Those who know about Ratha Kalpana, talk about Ratha Kalpana in this manner. It is very interesting. It's this usage you see in Sanskrit all the time. I mean, in the Shastra. Who say Atma is Avinashi? Those who know Atma is Avinashi will say that Atma is Avinashi. That is how it is. So, Ratha Kalpana Kushalaha, that's very easy, right? That's very smart. Okay. Then what? Sharirastha Akarshana Samanyat. Sorry, Sharira Ratha Akarshana Sama. Okay, why he is saying now? Shankara has to give us a reason why Upanishad is saying this. He's saying Akarshana Samanyat. We saw it earlier also. Earlier also we saw it when Shankara explained what? Why the body is called Shratha. If you go back to the Bhaashyam of third mantra, he's saying Shariram Rathameva Tu. Then what? Ratha Baddha Hayastaniyehi Indriyehi Akrishya Manatvat Sharirasya. There itself he brought this being pulled. Body is called Ratha because it is as though pulled by horses' senses. So now he's bringing the same argument here. Hey, now the senses are pulling the body, therefore the senses must be taken as the horses. Right? Same argument, not new. Yes, following me? Akrishya Manatvat means being pulled. So therefore, that being pulled must be which of the three? Which of the three that are required for a for an upama?
Samanya dharma.
Samanya dharma. What are the three things required? Upameyaha, upamana, and samanya dharma, or sadrishyam. That is correct. Then what? Let's read the next one. Teshu eva
Teshu eva
indriyeshu
indriyeshu
hayatvena parikalpiteshu
hayat eva parikalpiteshu
gocharan
gocharan
margan
margan
रूपादीन विषयान विद्धि.
रूप आदि विषयान विद्धि.
Yeah. So Teshu, question was asked, what is Teshu, right? So Shankara is saying, Teshu means really it should be Tesham. Those Indriyanam, the objects that the Indriyas go after must be taken as the roads, the paths on which the horses travel. Is the way it should be said. So the objects of the Indriyas, of means Shashti, Indriyanam, Tesham it should be. But Shankaracharya, being an expert in Sanskrit, you know what he does? He retains the Teshu and converts into what is called Sati Saptami. And he says, instead of saying there, Thear, he's converting, being as it may that the sense organs are taken as the horses. Okay. That is what is good. That is the meaning of the sentence. Teshu eva indriyeshu hayatvena parikalpiteshu satsu within brackets you can add. Called Sati Saptami. So being as it may, or being that, or given that the indriyas are taken as the horses, hayatvena parikalpiteshu. Indriyas are being imagined as the horses. Being that the sense organs are okay. Then you can say within brackets Tesham, we can Tesham. Tesham means what? Gocharan. So Bhagavan is explaining. Gocharan is equal to Margan Rupadi. Marga. Marga only. So our Vaidya, Mauti Vaidya Margaha, right there. We have a Margaha. Like this, we have names for all these roads. Same thing, Marga only. Referring to the paths on which the horses travel. Okay. And Marga. And so now referring to horses, right? So Gocharan now, so the question was asked, what is this Indriyan Teshu Gocharan? So Gocharan must be taken as the paths on which the horses travel. And then what about Vishayan? Vishayan, Shankaracharya is saying Rupadeen. Rupadeen, which is very odd. Vishayan is how a Vishayan can be Rupadeen. Vishayan means all the things that we see, we hear. Peacocks are this one. They're talking. They're saying something. We are hearing so much. We are seeing so much. And so this is again Vedanta. Rupa, the Shankaracharya is very careful. He's saying I see a book. He's saying there is not a correct state. He's saying I'm not a correct state. Because eyes don't know. Eyes don't know that this is a book. Do the eyes know it is a book? No. Eyes don't know this is a book. You are concluding that this is a book, this is a Bhagavad Gita book, this, that. No, you are concluding. Eyes only show you something. It shows you an image of what is there. Rupa, it is telling you that there is a rectangular shaped object in this particular object, and then it just can, these are the things the eyes are showing. I don't even know how to describe it. Because it won't tell you that there is paper. It can't tell you. Eyes cannot tell you. You have to conclude all that. Look at how many processes are involved in it. Therefore, Shankaracharya is saying, Rupa, rectangular form is there, some red color is there, something is written. Now you have to figure out, the buddhi has to figure out what this is. This is the Bhagavad Gita book. And that's it. In the entire, this book, entire Bhagavad Gita is there. How is it possible? Yeah. It has some verses and it has some meanings of the verses. That's all this. That's it. All that mind is concluding. Therefore, he's saying, Indriya's job is only to tell me the names and forms. Not even names and forms. Colors and forms. I should take back name. Where does it say? Does it say, I am a book? The book says that? No, it doesn't say. So, Rupadi means not even Nama. Rupaha, Gunaha. Other gunas like colors. Even weight, can't say unless, okay, this hand holds it like this, then it's a heavy book, it's a light. That's that kind of indications. Therefore, Rupa, Deen, Kracharya is careful because Buddhi is separated out. Buddhi is separated from this Indriyas. Therefore, he is careful. He is saying, no, Indriya has no capacity to tell you that. Okay? Look at the beauty here. Huh? Okay, Rupadin. Therefore, Rupadin can be put after the word Vishaya. Technically, that's how the Bhaashyam is written, right? The Mula Shabda is there before, then Shankaracharya will come. But here it has been reversed like this. So maybe when somebody was writing it, and the students were writing it, we don't know if Shankaracharya wrote this. Shankaracharya may be dictating, just like that talking. And somebody is writing. 10 people are writing it, suppose. And then it has come to us like this. You know, anything is possible. And so, Upadi, Vishayan, Vidhi. That also we know. Vidhi, Jani, He. May you know. Janatu. May you know. May you know that the objects of the sense organs are same as the paths on which the horses travel. Okay, that is the meaning of that here. Let's read the next one. Atmendriya manoyuktam.
Atmendriyamanoyuktam.
So in Gita Press, there is a spelling mistake. Yuktaha, it says, can be changed to yuktam. Atmendriya manoyuktam.
Atmendriyamanoyuktam.
Sharirendriya manobhihi.
Sharirendriyamanobihi.
Sahitam sanyuktam atmanam.
Sahitam samyuktam atmanam.
Bhokta iti samsari iti.
Bhokta iti samsari iti.
Ahuhu manishinaha vivekinaha.
Ahuhu manishinaha vivekinaha.
Yeah. That's the last quarter of this mantra. Or last half. Second half of the mantra. Atmendriya manoyuktam. Okay. Shankaracharya is explaining. Sharira indriya manobhihi sahitam sanyuktam atma. So look at this. That Atmendriya, the Atma of the Atmendriya has been replaced by Sharirendriya, right? Shariram. So that Atma means Shariram, Dehendriya, we said earlier, right? Then there is another following Atmanam. Okay. And so that Atma goes back to the Atma of the previous verse. Atmanam Rathinam Vidhi. Shariram Rathameva. That Atma. That is that entity for which the whole chariot, that body, mind, sense complex is meant for. So third mantra, what did you see? Atmanam Rathinam Vidhi, right? That Atma is what? The person who is sitting behind the charioteer, right? That is the entity referred to here, which we are trying to understand what that entity is, right? So I hope you're following. So Atmendriya Manoyuktam means what? Sharira Indriya Manoyuktam. Manobihi Sahitam. Together. And so that which is along with the body, mind, and senses. And who is along with the body, mind, and senses? Atmanam, Sanyuktam, Atma. Atma is also combined with this entity. Body, mind, senses. It's a complex, And so there's somehow that Atma has to be separated from this body, from this complex. So he's indicating all that by saying Atmendriya Manoyuktam is equal to Atmanam. Finally, it is equal to Atmanam, right? That body, mind, sense complex, or rather, the body, mind, senses, that which is together with this body, mind, sense complex called Atma. Unfortunately, Atma is not available by itself. So he's saying that Atma, which is never by itself, which is always in combination with the body, mind, and senses. That's better. Sometimes we need 2-3 tries to get to the right way of explaining. And so that Atma, which is in association with the body, mind, sense complex. So right there, we are seeing Atma is not the body, mind, sense complex. That's why often we say what? Body is Atma, Atma is not the body. Body is Atma. Wave is water, but water is not wave. Okay, very important in our Vedanta. Okay. Bhokta iti samsari iti ahu manishinaha. Bhokta iti ahu. That Atma, which is in combination with the body, mind, senses, body, mind, and senses, is called Bhokta. Okay. Okay. Therefore, it's so far it is safe. So if you ask, is Atma a Bhokta? We will be forced to say, no, Atma is not Bhokta. Atma is not Karta. Otherwise, the entire Bhagavad Gita study will become useless. The whole thing we are trying to find out is Atma. And so this Abhokta Atma somehow has got mixed up with this body and then has become a Bhokta. Okay. Like that, these wise people, Manishinaha, Vivekinaha. Here Viveki means wise, not the Adhikaritma Viveki, one who is studying Vedanta, who is already has an idea that the Atma is different from Anatma. That person also is a Viveki in that context. But here, Jnaninaha, okay, Manishinaha means Jnaninaha. So this part comes to Swamiji and says, what? What's up? What's up? Yeah, I'm trying to imitate Puja Swami. We're all imitators only. We can't match Puja Swamiji's amazing capacity to just grip the audience, keep the audience grip. But Swamiji used to say, fake it and make it. I still remember that. Means what? Don't worry if you don't feel good, right? Yeah, that's okay. Just think that, Atma is really something that's very important step. Fake it and make it. No, I'm fine. You have to tell yourself sometimes I'm fine, right? So we have to, this is our sampradaya. We have to pass it on, right? So this is the part comes to Swamiji. And Swamiji says, what's up? This part says, you know what, Swamiji, I live in Nana Nani phase 2 in Vadavalli in Coimbatore. There is a big pot there because they put water in that pot and they drink it and everything. Oh, that's very good. What about you? What about you? What's your function? My function is very odd. I'm sitting on this table all the time next here. Occasionally, this Guruji comes and then picks me up. And then there's always drama with me. Oh, that's very nice. So No, it's not very nice, Swamiji. Look at the other pot, how carefully they clean it. Every day in the morning they clean it, they wipe it, and then they put water in it, and then they use it. They use the water from the pot. See that pot, how useful it is. But here, I'm not sure. He is simply displaying me for everybody to see. What kind of? I don't have any job satisfaction. I don't have any job satisfaction. And this is not the. Is this the way to lead a life, Swamiji? And that too is once in a while he does this also. And he taps on me like this. And it's scary. If he drops me someday, what will happen? Swamiji, I need some help. Now, I forgot to tell you one very important thing, which is you should first put a human mind inside this pot. Then only this dialogue is meaningful. Otherwise, it's not meaningful. After putting a animal mind also, it won't work. Human mind has to go into this. Only then the dialogue will be lively. They should come up with an animation. I think I have an idea. This Swamiji and pot animation. Somebody should develop the animation. I think it will. Swamiji students will love it. So this pot says, I am not satisfied. I'm depressed. I'm frustrated. What happened now? Now Swamiji has to tell. Now Swamiji has a job in his hands because now he has to find a way to tell this pot. Pot, this whole thing that you say pot is really clay. Is really clay. There is really no such thing as pot. Just some mithya pot is there. Instead of looking at clay, instead of telling I am clay, you're saying I'm pot, I'm small pot, and I'm I don't have proper role, is not given to me, this, that, and all you're saying. And so that bhokta iti ahuhu, upadhi, the pot is the upadhi of clay. Your swarupam is clay, all right. But there is an upadhi called pot, which is so. Pot's existence depends on you, the clay. And clay's existence does not depend on pot's existence at all. It doesn't matter what the pot is because you are clay. And clay's swarupam will not change at all. It is clay. It was clay, it is clay, and it will be clay. This kind of a Zoom class has to happen. Swamiji has to somehow conduct for this pot. And the pot has to write notes and all that. And then get the idea someday that, my goodness, yes, pot. I'm pot. I mean, I'm clay. Therefore, that samsari, who is a samsari if we ask? Clay is samsari or what? Pot is samsari. Or I might say, there is something, body, mind, sense complex is there, that ahankara which has the capacity to make conclusions, not only about the rest of the world, entire world, but also about oneself. That is why self-consciousness is so important. That is why only human beings have this problem. Animals don't have a problem. There is no class going on there among the birds on top of the trees. Class is not needed also. Why? Because that self-conscious, I am able to conclude about myself. And so this part has to be told that. Bhokta iti. So that concluder, or the concluder is ahankara, chidabhasa, that thought which has the I thought, which has the capacity to, has to conclude what the I is, has to conclude, no choice. I don't know whether I know who I am or I don't know who I am. I have to conclude. That is why when I see something there, if I don't know its swarupa, I have to conclude it is a snake. I mean, that is what comes to my mind. And I say, and then I have to react to that conclusion. I cannot conclude something and not react. Oh, snake. How many people can say, oh, snake? In ashram, we used to see a lot of snakes. And it's used small snakes. Occasionally, a big snake will come. And these days, it's less and less. More and more people come. The snakes are driven away. So, that's the meaning of that. Okay. Let's read the next Bhaashyam. So now with this, the Bhaashyam of the mantra is over. Now, if you look at the next section, there is no Mula Shabda. Second half is also described. Manishinaha described. Now he's going to comment. Okay? And when something like this happens, when Shankaracharya does this, it means he wants us to, his commentary, it's an important part of the comment. That's the meaning of that. Let's see what that important part is. Chandana, okay. Nahi.
Vivekani Kina.
Huh? Sorry,
Sorry, which one? Yeah.
Nahi then, okay, all right. So, Nahi, I'm going to start from Nahi Kevalasya Atmana.
Okay, yeah. Nahi.
Nahi
Nahi
Kevalasya Atmanaha
Kevalasya Atmanaha
Bhoktritvam Asti
Bhokrutvam Asti
Buddhyadi
Buddhyadi
Upadhikritam Eva
Upadi Krutam Eva
Tasya Bhoktritvam
Tasya Bhokrutvam
Tathacha
Tathacha
Krutyantaram
Krutya Uttar
Krutyantaram
Krutyantram
Kevalasya
Kevalasya
Abhoktritvam Eva
Abhokrutvam Keva
Eva
Keva
Eva
Eva
Darshayati
Darshyayati
Jayati Iva
Dhyayati Iva
Lelayati Iva
Lelayati Iva
Ityadi.
Ityadi.
Yeah. So he's telling, we've discussed it almost. So let's see what he says. Nahi kevalasya atmanaha bhoktritvam asti. Bhoktritvam nasti. Bhoktritvam nasti. There is no enjoyership, okay? There is no enjoyership. For what? Kevalasya atmana. Atma, keval atma. Keval atma means what? Just pure atma, Sachidananda atma, nirguna atma, has no bhoktritvam because atma is nirguna. Okay, that he assumes we all know that. So he's making a statement. And we know that, of course. We know that, at least as what we have studied in Bhagavad Gita, we know that. He kevalasya atmanaha bhoktritvam asti. And then how come this bhoktritvam comes? He's explaining that. Buddhi adi upadhi kritam eva tasya bhoktritvam. Because there is an upadhi. Upadhi kritam. This bhoktritvam is caused by something, and that something is called upadhi. And what is the upadhi? I think we know by now what upadhi is. And upadhi, what is the upadhi? Buddhyadi means buddhihi, manaha, shariram. Right? That upadhi. All of these are upadhis of Atma. Right? Just like here we say, what is the upadhi for clay? Clay really is shapeless. Clay has no shape. But the shapeness is given by pot. And so that the upadhi, the qualities of the upadhi being given to the clay, the Atma, there is this idea of bhoktritvam. Bhoktritvam is born from the upadhi only, from the properties of the upadhi. And Ahankara has the capacity to experience all these things. Experiencership is, we are not denying it. It's not a denial of experiencership. It's an explanation of experiencership, despite Atma not being an experiencer. Oh. We have to explain. This is the crux of Vedanta, is it not? And so, Shankaracharya is saying that Tasya Bhoktritvam. Tasya means what? Atmanaha Bhoktritvam. Atma as though has Bhoktritvam. I have become a Bhokta. I say I am a Bhokta. I am a Karta. I am an accomplisher. I am a doer. I am a go-getter, they say. Oh, who is this I? Well, Ahankara is doing all these things, but for me, I don't know the difference between Ahankara and Atma. And so, Tasya Atmanaha Brokutva. Finally, Atma, I am a Karta. That is where everything ends. I am the guy who's depressed. I am the guy who's agitated. I am the guy who's disappointed. I am the guy who's this. I am this. That entire Tvam, Bhoktritvam, Kartritvam, Gunatvam. Tvam means what? An attribute, right? A quality. And that quality is all superimposed on this Atma. He doesn't use the word superimposed, but we understand. Tasya Atmanaha Bhoktritvam. And so on. Tata cha Shrutyantaram. Shrutyantaram means another Shruti. That is a technical meaning. Antaram here means another. Okay, another Shruti, another text, not this text. Kathopanishad does not say it. So Shankaracharya is bringing another reference. He says, because why doesn't Upanishad say what we just told Guruji if you ask? Well, that's what Shankaracharya is also asking. And so let me bring you another Upanishad, which is a little more direct. And what is that? Kevalasya Atmanaha, or rather, Kevalasya Abhoktvam eva darshayati. That Atma is Abhokta, is being said by another Shruti, another Upanishad, and this is Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, number 4.3.7. And what does that Upanishad say? Dhyayati iva lelayati iva. This is something we have to just remember. Dhyayati, Jai Dhatu. Dhyanam word comes from Jai Dhatu. Jai, Chintayam. So Jai. Dhyayati, meditates. Atma meditates. Key word is following Dhyayati. Eva. That is the $1 billion word. Vedanta word, $1 billion word is Eva. The Eva word you cannot forget. Cannot afford to give up. That Eva is the key. Dhyayati Eva. Atma as though meditates. Lelayati Eva. Lela Dhatu. Lelayati means turbulent, agitated. Atma is as though confused, agitated. Okay? Lelayati Eva. Ityadi. As though confused, as though agitated. Why as though? Because you can't afford to say Atma is agitated and all that. Because Atma is available for me, so many transactions are happening. And so I can't, having superimposed all these attributes on Atma is why I've become a samsari. Now I am trying to find out what this I is. Am I, the real I, Atma, really a samsari? That is the question being asked. So Eva. Suddenly what happens? A big gap is created between what and what? Between me, the Atma, and everything else. Means body, mind, sense. The possibility is there that, oh, I see. That's what is a problem. There is a problem of having superimposed all these attributes on the self, and I think that is the real self. Okay? Dhyayati iva, lelayati iva. Atma is as though meditating, as though agitated. Okay, so the implications are huge of this observation, right? What is the implication? There is an attribute. So many attributes are there. I say so many things about myself. Okay. I am no good. Let's say no good. That's a very thing. Right? Students are there. We are working on college applications and all that. I'm learning more about this process these days because I have to work with all these children. And there's a mad rush. The mark sheet came out just last week or 10 days ago. There's a mad rush to colleges. Look at the amount of stress that people have. And they're running from pillar to post. And some people have, there is so much demand for computer science and this and that in some colleges. The price of the seat is going up. Every passing day, the price of the seat is going up. That's how bad it is. We have just created a system that's like that. So, So all these are my attributes. I am stressed. I am disappointed. I am anxious about the seat that I'm going to get. Anxiety. Shankara says all those are okay. We are not denying any of that. But that's an attribute of the mind. That's an attribute of the buddhi. We have to learn to deal with all right in a Laukika. But that is not the attribute of Atma. That means if those attributes are superimposed on Atma, then they are incidental. Incidental means what? They are not true to Atma. They are not attributes that are intrinsic to Atma. Like I say, fire is hot. Fire, the heat, hotness is intrinsic to the fire. You can't remove hotness from fire. But here it is not like that, Shankaracharya is saying, hey, you can remove these attributes. Let these attributes be. They don't touch Atma at all. Velayati iva, dhyayati iva. And that Atma which is untouched by any of these attributes is Atma, is you. Okay, that possibility is there, he says. And therefore, if that is the case, then what? If the attributes are not intrinsic, they are only incidental, then you don't have to necessarily remove those attributes. Look at the jump we are making, okay? Huge jump we are making. If the attributes don't really belong to Atma, you don't really have to remove all those undesirable attributes. Huge jump, leap. We have made a leap here, okay? I'll acknowledge that, and I hope you are following. And therefore, if I say I am a mortal, you have to say, you know what, the body is mortal. My dear friend, nobody is trying to change that. Shankaracharya is not coming and changing the mortality of the body. He doesn't have any capacity. Krishna also has no capacity to change the mortality of the body. Then what? Understand that there is an Atma that is immortal. Because that is my problem. My problem is I am mortal. For some reason, thanks to the Shastram says, you are immortal. And therefore, what should I do with the mortality of the body? You don't have to do anything about the mortality. Why? Because that mortality cannot touch Atma. Whether I die at 30 years of age or 90 years of age, Atma is untouched. Let the body be. Take care of the body the way you should take care of it. Leave it at that. Leave it at that. Okay? And therefore, what is the jump? Attributes are incidental. Incidental attributes need not be removed. You jump. Can be managed. Whatever has to be managed, we will manage. But we will not lose over these facts. Lose sleep over these facts. Excuse me. We will not lose sleep over. We will do what is to be done. Okay? Okay, those are the implications of this word eva. Eva is a big word there. Okay? Let's say Shankaracharya is not concluded. Let's look at the next one. Evam cha sati
Evam cha sati
vakshyamana rata kalpanaya.
vakshyamana ratakalpanaya.
What is there in your book? Notes also, it's the same thing. Vakshyamana rata kalpanaya. Okay, so your book is slightly different than Gita Press. Your book says Vakshyamana rata kalpanaya, which is one word. Here in Gita Press, two words are there. Vakshyamana rata kalpanaya. Both are meaning-wise same. Okay, we'll leave it as it is. Vaishnavasya
Vaishnavasya
padasya
padasya
atmataya pratipattihi
atmataya pratipattihi
upapadyate
upapadyate
na anyatha
na anyatha
swabhava anatikramat.
swabhava anatikramat.
Evam cha sati. This is another peculiar usage in Sanskrit. Sati sabda. This being so, evam cha sati, this being so. In fact, this should be understood as only if this is so, that this phrase can mean if this is so, but here it is stronger. Only if this is true. Only if what is true. Evam means suddenly we have to scratch our heads. We can't forget what was said just 5 minutes ago. Okay, Swamiji will joke. He will say, Evam cha sati. What was said? Lung. He will say lung. Lung is a lakara in Sanskrit. Past tense. I told you there are 3 past tenses in Sanskrit. I told you also don't become tense that there are 3 tenses, past tenses. Just relax. There is a past tense called lung, which is recent past. And Swamiji will make fun of us. It's only recent past, my dear friends, lung. Okay? And that lung is, what is that lung? Dhyayati iva lelayati iva. And therefore, all the attributes really belong to the upadhi, buddhyadi kritam upadhi, buddhyadi upadhi kritam. All that Shankaracharya had said. And so, all those belong to the upadhi, and I seem to project it on myself. And not understanding that self is different than the body. Body is the self, but self is not the body. Pot is clay, because there is no pot without clay. Pot is clay, but clay is not pot. B is A is not B. Wave is water is not. Okay, this is a human buddhi is capable of understanding it. And so, evam chasati, only if that is so, this kind of upadhi kritam is true, then what? Then only upapadyate, the verb is upapadyate, right? Towards the end of the sentence. Pratipaddihi upapadyate. Then only it is possible. What is possible? Only if this is true, the following is possible. What is possible? Vaishnavasya padasya atmataya pratipattihi. We'll come to the other words later. Okay? Later on in mantra number 9, Upanishad is going to say Vaishnavam Padam, like that he's going to say Vaishnavasya Padasya Atmataya Pratipattihi. Equating this Vaishnavam Padam to Atma. Vaishnavam Padam can mean Vaikunta, which is out there, which is Paroksham. Okay. Shankaracharya is talking about, he's going to later on say that Vaishnavam Padam is not Paroksham, it is Aparoksham. It is Atma only. And so, equating Vaishnavasya Padasya to Atma, now upapadyate. It is not possible. You cannot possible to equate Vaishnavam Padam with Atma unless what we said earlier is true. The superimposition must be the only solution to this Vaishnavam Padam and Moksha. Okay. Atmataya Vakshyamana Ratakalpanaya. Vakshyamana means which will be told. This Vaishnavam Padam, etc. will be told. Because it's coming shortly. In 9th mantra, it's coming. We are only in the 4th mantra. Vakshyamana means that which is going to be told. Ratakalpanaya means what? This Ratakalpana is going to be used. That which is going to be told using this Ratakalpana. Okay? That this Vaishnavam Padam, the one who understands this, reaches Vaishnavam Padam. Okay? Reaches the abode of Vishnu. Like that, the statement is going to be made. And so unless this superimposition is true, this Vaishnavam Padam, Tatma is reaching, etc., is not possible. That's what he's saying now. Na anyatha, not otherwise. Na anyatha, not possible. Otherwise, it's not possible. Otherwise, going to heaven and all may be possible. That's okay. That going to heaven is there. We accept that. It's part of our own vyavahara. Going to heaven is another type of experience. Some people have great experiences. Comfortable life. A life with no discomfort at all. Zero discomfort. Good. That's great. Why will that person, if you offer Swarga to that person, do you think that person will be interested? He will say, I'm already in Swarga. What are you talking about? Okay. Therefore, Anna Anyatha, not otherwise. Why not otherwise? Swabhava Anatikramat. this is Shankaracharya. Because the nature of Atma cannot transcend, because one cannot transcend one's nature. That's the literal meaning of this phrase, Swabhava Anatikrama. One cannot violate one's nature. Fire cannot violate its nature by saying, I'm not cold. I mean, I'm not hot. I'm sorry. Fire is hot. That's it, over. It can, if it says I'm cold, there is a problem. There is a problem. And because the Atma's nature being complete, full, nobody can change this fact. Even Ahankara is trying hard to change, but it won't be able to change. And because Atma is complete, is Purna. Suppose fire goes to God and says, I don't want to be hot. What can Bhagavan do? Bhagavan will say, you know what? Swarga and all, also fire is hot only, my dear friend. There also they need to cook food and all this. There also fire is hot only. What to do? Sapta, all this Bhuvanani, Sapta Loka have, Chaturdasha Bhuvanani, everywhere fire is hot. They say hell also, but they have fire. Did you not hear it? Did you not hear it? So everywhere fire is hot, my dear friend. You ask for something else, I'll give you, but don't tell me I don't want to get hot. That is the meaning of Swabhava Anatikrama. Swamiji's joke is this. The sugar crystal comes to Swamiji and says, I want to be sweet. This is a better example, actually. Sugar comes to Swamiji and says, Bhagavan, and says, I want to be sweet. Tell me, what should Bhagavan do? Bhagavan has to put a full stop to all the Srishti, Sthiti, Laya. First keep all that aside. And then sit in front of the sugar crystal and then begin conducting classes. Zoom classes, correct? What other choice? Even God is helpless. God has no choice to make a sugar crystal sweet. You better think about it. No choice. Why? Swabhava Anatikramat. Even God is helpless. No, you are sweet. No, but I'm not sweet. That's it, over. This is the human problem. This is the human predicament, correct? And so, that is the meaning of that great word, Swabhava Anatikrama, because one cannot violate or transcend one's own nature. That is why Vaishnava Padam and Atma can be equal. If we understand all these things now, that is what Shankaracharya is telling here. Okay? Okay, let us look at the Anvaya. So summary is what? Summary is that there is a Upama that has been completed. What is Upama? Chariot analogy. Okay, chariot Upama has been talked about to describe this body, mind, sense complex. The purpose of this analogy is what? Is to somehow make us see that there is an Atma that is different from the body, mind, sense complex, and that then the attributes of the body, mind, sense complex referred to by the word bhokta in this, or bhoktritvam in this mantra, does not belong to Atma. It belongs to the complex, all right. Belongs to Ahankara also, you can say. Okay? And that being so, it is not necessary to say, I want to become an abhokta. How do I become a bhokta? If you say, God will be helpless. He has to say, you are a bhokta. And he has to make me see I am a bhokta. Teaching. He has to take on the role of Dakshinamurti, finish the teaching, then he has to go back to the Sisti, Sthiti and Laya. So he has to continue, And so that is the message of this. Okay.
So Guruji, Just one. So here, when we, when we are talking about Bruhadaranyaka, or when Shankara is saying that the Bruhadaranyaka is directly going to be talking about abhoktrutvam, right? That's what the line is saying. Should not this Shruti, but Bruhadaranyaka is going to mention that, directly state that Atma is abhoktrutvam. Yet, as though meditating, as though agitated, those upadhis continue, is how we have to interpret this this particular line.
So yeah, Bhoktritam will continue for whoever has Bhoktritam. Because Atma is a Bhokta anyway. It's not like Atma has Bhoktritam somehow and then you have to remove the Bhoktritam.
And it is not required to separate those from the Atma because they are already separate.
The separation is cognitive.
Yes.
There is no physical separation needed. It is cognitive separation. Cognitive separation. It is here in the Buddhi. Buddhi mein hai. Exactly like the way you separated snake from rope. How did I separate snake from rope?
Buddhi, yeah, through cognition.
I didn't have to do. There is no physical activity involved here. It is by cognitively seeing that there is no snake. There in that example, no snake. Snake itself is not there. But here it is a little different because Bhoktritram will continue, but I am not the Bhokta. Fundamentally, I am not the Bhokta. Even though I am having painful experiences. That pain experiencer is me, but I am not pain experiencer. Clay can say, I am a small 30 milliliter pot. Previously, I thought I should be jealous of that big pot. Now I have understood that the jealousy seems to come and go. Yes, I do need to work on my jealousy. That is there. Atma Vidya cannot remove jealousy. I have to keep working on jealousy. But thanks to Atma Vidya, I now know that this jealousy is illegitimate. It is childish, almost childish. I've taken this potness to be Satyam. Therefore, I've got all these emotional problems. Now, knowing that I am clay, I will work on my problems and eventually the problems will disappear completely. And I will say, I am Mukta Purushaha. I am Mukta Purushaha despite my form still being a small pot. 30 ml potness does not change at all. I can say I don't have job satisfaction if I want to, but it's also now childish because I am a clay. I will do whatever the body and will do whatever it has to do. The spot has to serve whatever purpose it serves until the prarabdha is.
Okay. So taking it to the next statement then, Vaishnav Padam, essentially the Atma doesn't really need to bother about going somewhere or taking a different form. Atma is Atma. Is now the second statement falling into place?
Yeah. So, correct. So, we will have to see what Shankaracharya says for Vaishnava Padam. But yeah, here we will have to say that if Atma were a limited entity, then it has to travel. Why? The fact that it is limited. The potential for travel is always there.
Okay.
The body is limited. Body will travel. Wherever it wants to go, the body can go.
Oh, okay. So because Atma is Sarvavyapi, it has to go nowhere.
Because of Sarvapyapitva, not because of anything else.
So by Upadhi is being limited, and hence the conception of Vaishnava Padam, etc. Leave that alone if you want to. it comes into play, but it really is, you don't even need to make a separation because Atma is Sarvavyapi.
Therefore, the person who says Vishnu is out there and I want to go there is not interested in knowing this Sarvavyapi Atma.
Oh, okay.
Is not interested in inquiry. That's why this inquiry does not happen in any other darshana. In every other, in Vishishtadvaita, they talk about the glory of going to Vaikuntha. That is the most important. There is an analysis. They study the same Bhagavad Gita. Upanishads, they study, but not like this. Because Upanishads is very dry. Bhagavatam is very, very sweet. It's wet with lot of rasa. Anyway, those are the implications.
Thank you, Guru. Yes.
Okay, so we will do Anvaya. Okay. Ratha Kalpana Kushalaha in brackets. Manishinaha okay, Vivekinaha also you can add if you want in brackets. And within brackets, you can add your own Jnaninaha if you want, because this is not the Ajnani Viveki, this is the Jnani Viveki. Okay? So, Ratha Kalpana Kushalaha Manishinaha Vivekinaha Jnaninaha Indriyani Hayan Iti Ahu. Okay, Indriyani Hayan Iti in brackets Ahu. Full stop. Okay, good. Next, Manishinaha within brackets, right? So, Vishayan Teshu Indriyeshu Manishinaha Vishayan Teshu Indriyeshu in brackets Gocharan Iti Ahu. Iti Ahu supplied. Let me repeat that. Manishinaha Vishayan Teshu Indriyeshu Gocharan Iti Ahu. Nishinaha Indriyeshu and Iti Ahu in brackets. Full stop. Next. Manishinaha Atmendriya Manoyuktam. Manishinaha supplied Atmendriya Manoyuktam. Atmanam supplied. Okay. Bhokta samsari iti ahuhu. Bhokta samsari iti ahuhu. Samsari and iti in parentheses. Okay, let me read it now. Ratha kalpana kushalaha manishinaha vivekinaha jnaninaha. Jnaninaha, make sure it is not Shankaracharya's word. Okay, just for our understanding. Indriyani hayan iti ahuhu. Full stop. Manishinaha Vishayan Teshu Indriyeshu Gocharan Iti Ahuhu. Full stop. Manishinaha Atmendriya Manoyuktam Atmanam Bhokta Samsari Iti Ahuhu. Okay, got it? Yeah. We conclude. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.